Yeah.
Oh, it's so lovely to meet you. Loads and loads of luck. A bit like the instant thing. We have to do something very instantly now. You ready?
Yeah.
You can see Ruthie and Les in 42nd Street from next month. Les will go on his UK tour from July.
Yeah. Got a good reaction from the audience there.
You're watching BBC Breakfast.
We were clapping.
It's 8:59.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK.
Nicky Campbell. Listen on BBC Sounds and watch on iPlayer.
Good morning, it's the National Phone-In and we're talking about the Grand National. Here's the question for you this morning. Were the Grand National protests okay? What do you think as a casual viewer, as so many of us are, of that iconic race? Biggest horse racing event of the year, one that many of us follow, albeit on a once-a-year casual basis, put on a bet, have a flutter. Many of whom do that don't normally watch the sport. But is it a piece of enthralling sporting theatre, or exploiting animals purely for our entertainment and endangering them as well? Moments after the race started, as you'll have seen, as you'll have heard, after an almost 15-minute delay, Hill 16 fell at the first hurdle and died. The third horse across the 3-day festival to have lost their life. His trainer says that the protests made him hyper, didn't make it easy for any of the horses, and then we saw what happened. The RSPCA say we must review the circumstances of each of the sad deaths at Aintree so that we never again exit a festival of racing with 3 dead horses. But Lucinda Russell, the trainer of the race's winning horse, told 5 Live on Saturday the safest place for a horse to be is on the racecourse. What do you think of that? Your thoughts on all of this, please. Do the protesters have a point, or were they completely wrong? We're on 5 Live, BBC News, BBC 2, iPlayer and BBC Sounds this morning. Were the Grand National protests okay?
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Call free 08085 909 693. Text 85058. Text will be charged at your standard message rate. Visit bbc.co.uk/5live terms for our terms of use.
And here is the news from Nick Hatfield.
Thank you, Nicky. Good morning. The trainer of a horse that died during the Grand National has blamed the incident on delays caused by protesters. The start of the race was held back for 14 minutes after activists got on the track. The campaign group Animal Rising says their actions were aimed at preventing horses dying. Rishi Sunak will criticise negative attitudes to maths in a speech later. He's setting up a panel of experts to look at how to make it compulsory for all students in England to study the subject in some form until they're 18. Labour says the plans won't work without more teachers. Research has found that air pollution causes harm to people at all stages of life. Scientists at Imperial College London looked at more than 35,000 studies over the past decade. They suggest certain particles can cause miscarriages, reduce sperm count and stunt lung growth in children. And the Japanese company Sega has bought the firm behind Angry Birds. The deal to buy Rovio is worth £625 million.
BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the UK.
Listen on BBC Sounds and watch on iPlayer.
It'll be so interesting to hear what you think about this iconic event, the Grand National. Huge and enduring international appeal, bringing pleasure to millions. These are the arguments. It was always a big family occasion in our house growing up. Dad would go down to the bookies back a long time ago and put on a flutter for all of us. And there was a flutter of excitement when we woke up. Saturday, Grand National Day, once a year. Extraordinary. There was something mad, just as a kid watching, something mad and marvellous about that exhilarating stampede twice round the course. And over the years, of course, views have changed, times have changed. And to be fair, the race has very much changed, so much safer.